story number 4. Spider-Man is an a-hole. Uh,
What?
yes. Apparently, the comic books are always doing something kind of weird and wacky and wild, but this one actually has a little bit of credence. And I want you to set up the story for this, and then I'll come back with the little extra bit that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, well, look, comic books are notorious for this, switching up the status quo every now and then, but we all know it's going to go back to reality that we know. But, like, for instance, they killed off Superman, they brought him back, they killed off Wolverine, brought him back. Actually, this is the second time something like this has happened to Spider-Man. I don't know if you know, a couple years back, great storyline. Peter Parker had in essence died, and this is the weirdest thing ever. Doc Ock took over his body, and so Doc
Good
Ock
lord.
was Peter Parker. Yeah, his the consciousness of Doctor Octopus was basically inside of Peter Parker, and it made a fascinating character study because, like, Doc Ock was like, you have all these abilities and this intelligence, and you do nothing with it. So Doc Ock basically created an empire and created all these tools. He was proactive in fighting crime as opposed to waiting for something to happen. I was like, man, so it was I forgot the writer, he was Dan Slott. So I love stuff like that. Just put a
Yeah,
little twist. Spider-Man was not always reactive. What if he's proactive, right? What if he did this? So anyway, so they've done stuff like this before, but like this is another kind of thing that they're doing. I mean, sure, man, make him a bad guy. I think they kind of framed it around like Craven's Last Hunt. I don't know if you ever read that storyline or heard about it, but
no.
that's when Craven went crazy and was going to kill, he was going to go after Spider-Man. Craven the Hunter is one of Spider-Man Rose Gallery. He's a hunter. He hunts. They're actually going to have a movie about him coming out next year. He went crazy and basically said, to beat Spider-Man, I have to become him. And so he, did all these crazy things, go after Spider-Man. And so now they're flipping the script where Spider-Man is now the hunter because he's evil now and he's going after Craven the Hunter. And who cares how Spider-Man became evil? Some mystical stuff, but sure. I guess that's the take. Comic books like to flip the status quo, do things differently. And I kind of dig it because it's almost like that Elseworlds or what if type premise, just what if the world was twisted a little bit and gives you, an interesting take on that because the characters are archetypes now, but what if they were this person or that person? I always like those kind of perspectives.
Are the comics heating up now because of the writer's strike?
Oh, good point. Man, I don't know. I mean, I've been tempted to go back and get caught. Every now and then I go back in, I get caught up. That's how I kind of found out about what's going on with the X-Men and the whole Geneva and the powers of X. I don't know if I think I talked about that a year ago or so on the podcast.
I fell off, bro. I'm
Yeah,
doing
but it was
my
cool though.
anime now.
Yeah, it was cool though. It was pretty interesting, the concept. But yeah, I fell off too, man. But like the stuff about incursions that we talked about, and I read all that whole storyline, Jonathan Hickman, so I understood that. But yeah, I don't know what's with the comic books anymore. I'm used to this dispatch from the comic book lane, right? But I just don't have the cycles like I used to, man. I used to like I can remember a time, even in my 20s when I was first start working. I was like, okay, I'm going to I used to go to comic book stores like every week. And so I started when I was young, stopped for like decades, then jumped back on in my mid to late 20s, and then I kept that going, and then got married and fell off. So they
Yeah, I know how it is. I went to rolled into a comic book store out here, and I came in kinda wide-eyed and happy, and I was like, "Hey, comics, cool, what's going on?" And
it's like the old guy. Hey guys, what's
I
going
was I
on
was so
here?
I was so out of touch. No, there was a guy older than me, uh, behind the counter, and he's, like, looking at me like, "Son, we got the new releases right here. We got that over there. If you're interested in getting on our email list, sign right here. Don't touch anything." You know, don't I was like, What?" And he had this vibe that's like, he's just disgusted of people coming in asking about comics, it was right after Black Panther came out, so,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
I think I was the
yeah, he's
only
all
black guy
around
in the
folks.
city, and I came in looking for comics, and he was
Got
just
high folks. You got high Mr. Bitch. He's like, woo, yeah, I'm about to go get see what's going on.
yeah, exactly. So,
Well,
yeah, he gave me
I'm like the same way, man. Real quick, I kind of be honest, when I came to Tampa again, found a comic book store. I used to go regularly. They had pull lists for me and everything. But then the pandemic hit, and I just kind of fell off. And then I went out to LA, my comic book store I first went to ever. I was right from down the street from my elementary, middle school, and high school in Culver City. And I found it, and they had moved the location. So first it was there like 1 year, and the next year they had moved it, but luckily I found it. And so I started getting caught up again. But yeah, man, it's one of those things where, you feel kind of elated because you're back in that mode and just
Yeah.
reading comics again. But then you feel overwhelmed because it's a lot. I don't know what's going on.
Right, right. Yeah,
So that's kind of my take on it.
I was totally lumped in with that person who doesn't know what they're talking about, and it's like just walks in like,
What was the last storyline did you come with her with the storyline? So yeah, I remember when
so
you know
I heard
the
T'Challa.
Beyonder.
So I heard T'Challa and Ororo got together. Hmm? Hmm? Exactly. It's like
Didn't they get married?
sounds spicy.
What happened with that?
Yeah. No, what I was gonna say earlier is that what's interesting is that this seems to connect to the video game storyline. There's a new Spider-Man video game coming out around the same releasing soon. So it seems there are a lot of parallels between the game and the movie. I mean the comic book storyline, I'm sorry. So they may be
Well,
trying
you
out
know
a
what, the movie, did you watch the latest Spider-Man movie?
yes.
Beyond the Spider-Verse?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a hint there that Spider-Man's gonna go a little crossways,
Yeah,
little
exactly. So
multiverse. So yeah, there it is.
they're connecting. So there are parallels in the video game, the comics, the movies. It's all getting weird. I'm glad Spider-Man's there to do it. But yeah, it sounds pretty cool, man. And it's a rabbit hole I actually don't want to get sucked into again because for some reason I feel Marvel's going to betray me at some point, and I'm just going to be pissed.
Yeah, get into the
Marvel.
Powers X. Just get into the Powers X. I thought that was a cool concept. So I went down
I
a rabbit hole a year ago, but I need to get back in real quick. Speaking of rabbit holes, man, they almost got me, Mr. Benja. They almost got me in the rabbit hole. In it, I was
Well, man.
doing something else, man, and somebody put up a comparison of like the protagonist in the airport and then the reverse of the protagonist, and they had like the two screens going back. I was like,
Mm,
but
don't do it. Don't do it.
I was trying to figure out. I was never diagramming that, Mr. Benja. I was like, oh, damn, if he came this way, so he was kind of, yeah, it almost got me. Almost got me.
I'm telling you, it's like when I realized that there was another level of Westworld that I hadn't been considering aside from the time, the way they do that. I was like, wait, wait, wait. And yeah, rabbit holes and
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
if,
Not
if,
gonna be able to think, son.
if you got any good rabbit hole that I need to get into, let me know. I'm going to finish up the One Piece rabbit hole, and I'll start another rabbit hole in about 5 years.
I'm not messing with One Piece, man. I'm scared to get down that rabbit hole, man. I might not come up. I went down a little bit to learn about the little, was it demon fruit, dragon? What's it called? Demon fruits,
Devil fruit.
devil fruit. They already have rankings and the powers. I was like, okay, let me pull back up before I get down this rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into the emperors and all this other. I was like,
Oh yeah,
this
the
is gonna
Emperor, the warlords, the Navy admirals, the lords of the
yeah.
sea,
See,
the
stop,
different
stop,
the,
stop.
the different belts.